Hello and welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is Friday the 8th of August. We have two major weather systems affecting both the east and the west of the country. So let's have a look at those. We've got all of this rain that is building over Queensland, the central and southern parts, and northern New South Wales, and showers coming to the coast, but all of that is moving eastwards. On the western side of the country, we've got tropical moisture coming in. We've got it meeting up with a cold front, and there is another one to follow in behind it. So have a look at the pattern. Very large high pressure system here over the Bight, edging towards Victoria and Tasmania. Over the next couple of days, that will very slowly move eastwards. Here's our rain system in Queensland. Doesn't look very exciting. It is just a trough, but it's got some great upper level energy that is turning all of that tropical moisture into a lot of rain as it moves eastwards. So that one will move eastwards and then move off the coast. And while that high is sitting just east of Tasmania, that means plenty of showers coming into the coast to continue after this weather system moves on. Otherwise, cold front here, next cold front coming in behind it, so that'll be a 1-2 punch as we go across the weekend. All right, let's have a look at day by day how that is looking. Have a look in the left-hand corner down the bottom there as to which day it is, and this bit here is what the pressure pattern is doing. So you can see the high is already just west of Tasmania by the end of today. Here is all of those big falls over Queensland and northern New South Wales. The east, not seeing a lot of it yet. That is tomorrow. Into the west, we've got that coming in later tonight. You saw how far away the cold front was this morning. Our feed of tropical moisture in there too. So that is on its way in. All right, let's have a look into Saturday. Here is where the bigger falls are likely to be, with a low developing just off the coast here. That's where that trough is by later on tomorrow. High pressure southeast of Tasmania, pushing stream showers into the coast here. So lots of wet weather along the coast, and then additional wet weather with that system moving through in those parts. 25 to 50. 25 to 50, 50 to 75. The biggest falls are likely to be offshore. Let's have a look at some different modelling in through there. This one here is GEM. That's got some higher falls coming into these parts here. This one here is the Australian model. So that's the Canadian. Now the Australian has most of the heavy falls offshore, but still these big falls here. This one here is the Euro model. Yeah, that's got some big falls on it. You notice they're all around the similar area, so we have high confidence in where this is going to land. And GFS, which is USA, that also has the heavy falls, but mainly offshore. Again, this is the region that is most likely to be heaviest hit by this one. All right, I'll go back to the AI forecast. So that's the Jane's Weather AI forecast. Here we are on Saturday. Let's now have a look at Sunday. That has cleared out completely. So that weather system well offshore, it's a Friday and Saturday thing. Instead, you've got high pressure east of Tasmania, onshore winds, so the showers will just keep on coming in. Over in the west, that's where we're getting exciting. So here we have Saturday coming through, 25 to 50 millimetres, big falls there. Sunday, it pushes right inland. By the end of Sunday, the cold front, this main one, is up to here by now. Lots of tropical moisture coming in behind it. But this here is a high pressure system that is going to quickly move in. So let's watch that in action in a second. There's still just a little bit, I just want to point this out here. As we go through Saturday, there's a little bit, it's the dregs, it's the leftover, so it's really nothing that's going to add up to very much, but there definitely will be some cloud associated with it. So there's this tiny bit that comes down into eastern parts of South Australia, just scraping that northwestern corner of Victoria as you go through Saturday and Sunday. Then that clears out. Okay, let's have a look at this system over in the west and what that's going to do as it crosses the Bight. Here we are by the end of Monday. There is our cold front. Where is the high pressure? We've got one down through here. We have this one over the Bight already. So that is already coming in and squashing that cold front. That's blocking that connection to tropical moisture. So there's hardly any of that left. Connection blocked, high pressure in the way once again. So let's watch what that is going to do as it moves across on Tuesday into Wednesday. There is Tuesday, 5 to 10, 2 to 5, 0 to 1. So the falls really, really back off. You saw it was 25 to 50 when it was in Perth. By the time it gets here, 2 to 5. So a big reduction because it loses that connection to tropical moisture. There it is as we move through Tuesday, and then into Wednesday, the rest of that disappears. Here's the next high pressure system moving in. Meanwhile, next weather system approaching the west there. That one comes through. Again, tropical moisture coming in, lovely falls, nice and juicy as it comes in, 15 to 25. Meanwhile, high pressure is sitting in through here. So that's by the end of Thursday. Friday, slightly different pattern for this next one coming across. So there's Thursday, still having a connection to tropical moisture. There's the cold front. As that moves across the southeast, slightly different trajectory. No longer sliding through, but more coming in from the west. That should enable some bigger falls as it comes through. Now, I'm not talking huge. I'm not talking anything significant, but a little bit more than we're seeing on the Tuesday, Wednesday one. All right, so that's for next week. Let's have a look at that. In addition, all of that adding up, what are our totals? This is again for the AI model. 75 to 100, there may be some locally heavier falls in through there. The potential is there, so do watch out for something that is well over 100 coming in. I definitely wouldn't be surprised with that. It's a very juicy system. It's got enough instability. It's going to deliver for certain parts. Anyway, it's all in through these parts that are seeing the bigger falls. We've got this along the coast, which is 25 to 50, 50 to 75. So very, very coastal, hardly inland this time at all, definitely not on the ranges. And this as it skirts through during Friday into Saturday. Over in the west, 50 to 75, a lovely total as we move across the entire next week. Even inland, 25 to 50. So big falls in the west. That's where the cold fronts are peaking. That's where the connection to tropical moisture is. By the time it reaches the southeast, generally 10 to 15 with those two ones that are moving through. Bigger falls on the next one. But again, it's a full week away, so we'll see if it actually arrives like that when it gets here. Maybe 15 to 25 in these parts. There's that little trickle down, but you're not going to see much from that as that moves through. Okay, so there's our totals. Let's have a look at that in total, thanks to the Euro model here. So in terms of being above average or below average for this time of year, and this is the week as a whole. So it starts on Monday, so it's skipping the big system that is moving across the west. By Monday, there isn't much left there. There's the next one that comes through. It does have heavier than average falls in through here, and that's right through to Monday the 18th. Okay, that's interesting. Let's have a look at that. Let's also have a look at what the Bureau says. We like to check different models to see if they're on the same page. And yes, some of this is. Okay, so it's got some heavier than average rain that's coming in through here. So there may be something on the horizon as we move through next weekend, because the first one coming through Tuesday, Wednesday, that doesn't deliver, but the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday one may do. So something on the horizon, potentially brewing there. In the southwest, there may be another one that comes through there as well to produce. These blues are in the southwest too. Okay, so that's an interesting take. Let's have a look at the next week. So this is week 2, the 18th of August through the 25th. There's a bit more green on this map. It's coming down into here, but it's not really coming into these parts here. That's something to watch. Over in the southwest, it definitely has that lovely connection to tropical moisture again. And there is activity in the east here too. So that's the week 2 pattern. Let's have a look at what Bureau says on that. They've got something moving across the interior of the country into the east. This is the 19th to 25th and doesn't have a lot in through here. So perhaps this one in the west is earlier on in that week, because this is from the 18th and this is from the 19th. It's so unfortunate they don't line up anymore. Okay, here's our system moving through. All right, so let's have a look also September as a whole. So this is the fresh new look for the month from the Weather Bureau. They do have a lot of above average. They've got it coming into the southeast, but perhaps potentially not all the way. We know how we can get moisture coming down from the southeast, down from the northeast, down from the northwest, meeting up with low pressure, but where that low pressure is determines who gets that rain. It's easier for it to move in through here. Down in through here, there's usually high pressure that can get in the way, and we keep seeing that over and over again. So do keep that in mind when you look at this map. All right, sea surface temperature anomaly, how much warmer or cooler the top of the ocean is. Still have a fair bit of blue that has redeveloped in this box here, but we've got lots and lots of blue that is over in the Indian Ocean. Lots of yellow out through here, so a proper dipole, a proper difference that sets up an exchange in the atmosphere. And what it does is actively sends moisture in our direction. We can see it coming into those fronts over in the west, that lovely tropical moisture feed. All of that cloud that is over Queensland today. That is that tropical moisture feed as it crossed the country and then came in and then enhanced by this moisture feed we have of our own off the eastern coast here, which can also feed our systems as they come in. So this is a lovely picture for us in terms of ticking that first part of that rainfall equation, which is the moisture part. We like tropical moisture because it holds so much moisture. If it's only coming from the Southern Ocean, it only has a little bit of moisture with it, which is why those fronts, as they cross the southeast, don't contain much anymore. All right, let's have a look at the Pacific Ocean as a whole. You'll notice there's some lines back on this map. We've got some alternative modelling coming in. So it's not just Australia anymore, but it's Japan, it's the USA, and 2 versions of the USA with lots of outputs there. So essentially, all of these are a different model run is a way of looking at it. So these are everything has a look at initial conditions, changes them up a little bit for, problems that it may have in gathering what the actual initial conditions are. It allows for, we can't see what's happening here, we're making assumptions, so we're going to do something, a slightly different initial condition to start off with. Anyway, what that means is you end up with all of these different outputs. But what we're looking for here is a trend in what they are saying. And first of all, let's start with the observations. We started to go down. We got a bit more blue that was in the Pacific Ocean box. It is in through here. And so now we have just upticked just a little bit. All of these are expecting us to remain neutral, but there are some models that are heading down in through here. One or two of them cross the threshold into La Nina as we go into the summer period, but most of them are either neutral or on that La Nina side. So that is the situation that we will be wanting to keep an eye on, because that enhances how much moisture comes in from the Pacific Ocean. We already have our own source of it, but this could mean we get even more of it. Okay. If I look at the Indian Ocean, not as many models produce a forecast here, but we've now got a couple of them, Australia and 2 from Japan. All right, here we have gone, we came down, we got excited, then we bobbed around in neutral for a while, and now we've come back down. Now, 1, 2 weeks. We've now had 2 weeks that are below that threshold. We need 8 for it officially to be a negative Indian Ocean dipole. But this modelling is suggesting is we are going to stay there. So this encourages moisture to come in from the northwest, which, if it can meet up with low pressure, does great things for rain, particularly as it crosses the south. But you can see that Queensland system today has really benefited from that Indian Ocean moisture as well. So we can all see it as these systems come through. These are all suggesting this one bobs back out, but most of them are suggesting we come out of that as we naturally do at the end of the year and the monsoon takes over. All right, so that's a nice little map that we're looking at this morning. Let's move around the country and have a look at what that is going to do for the next couple of days. We'll start in Brisbane. Here we've got thick grey cloud overhead. We saw all of that on the satellite. It's only patchy light rain for Brisbane as it comes through. 1 millimetre is the average across the models. As we move into Saturday, that continues. It's fairly cloudy and we've got just this patchy light rain coming in. So Brisbane doesn't see the best part of this. It is further north that we have that's closer to that actual low pressure source that gets the bigger falls. Heading into Sunday, conditions we've now swapped around. We've got the high pressure system that's moved out and now we're in onshore winds. So we have showers passing through and we're going to see a bit of that as we head in. Let's go into Monday and then a little bit on Tuesday. So it's not a huge system from Brisbane, the one that's coming through, and then there are stream showers coming in. All right, let's have a look at Sydney. Are going to be seeing some rain out of this, and yes, that is another wet weekend ahead. So having a look at the timing for Friday, not much during the day, head out now, but then it comes in this evening and it comes in a big way. So Friday night is wet. Let's have a look at Saturday. 8 to 39 millimetres across all of the different weather models there. So that's a big range, but all of them have something, and look at it. It's 80% for the vast majority, 60 as we move through here, then back up to 80. So maybe the driest part will be the very middle of the day, but it's only a short break. It is most likely to come back. So another soggy Saturday, and as we move into Sunday, hey, you guessed it, there's more wet weather coming through, and into Monday it is there. It is likely to dry up either during the early hours of the morning there, potentially lasting into the middle, just after dawn as we go through there. But Tuesday is when it turns dry. All right, let's have a look at Melbourne. We've got that high pressure system moving across. So we have cloud at first, then we have sunshine. As soon as the center of the high moves out to the east, we stop seeing that cloud at first and it's sunshine for much of the day. We also get some chilly starts in through there. So today the cloud is starting to clear as we move into Saturday. You guessed it, early morning cloud, then lots of sunshine into Sunday, a fair bit of sunshine during the day, and Monday, a fair bit of sunshine. As that high moves eastwards, our winds turn northerly, so temperatures in the afternoon warm up. We're going to most likely reach 19 there. Now have a look at this. Here is the global modelling, all of those pastel colours there. They're all around the 17 to 18 sort of mark, or the AI forecast has a 19 on it. That's because it has learnt that when we go into northerly winds in Melbourne, it is likely to move higher than what that global modelling is suggesting. So this is why we use machine learning and AI to learn from what actually occurs and produce a forecast that is a much better fit. So then we have Monday. That's the warmest day. Tuesday, temperatures dive. We've got that weather system moving through. It's not going to deliver a lot. One of the models still has 6 millimetres on it, but the lowest one is 0.4 of a millimetre. So don't expect a huge amount from this one, but it's coming through during the middle into the later part of the day. So that's Tuesday into Wednesday. That dries up early on Wednesday morning. The next system that comes in on Friday, that one could be bigger, but again, it's a full week away. So have a look at Adelaide. Today we have the dry conditions. We've got the high moving through. On Saturday, we saw that trickle down, just the dregs of that Queensland weather system. It'll produce some cloud. You can definitely see that there. So it'll be a thick and grey day. Temperatures will have a lid on them, but there's not a lot of wet weather that comes through with it. I wouldn't expect anything heavy from this one here. It may be like, yes, it is raining, but I don't think it'll out very much in the rain gauge. As we move to Sunday, a bit more of that, and then that clears out later on in the day, so temperatures can rise. Monday is the break before the cold front moves across. So that's Monday night into Tuesday as that comes in, 1.7 millimetres. So again, a lot from that one. Wednesday is the break. And then as we go into Thursday, we've got another break there. Friday is when that next weather system comes through. Okay, let's have a look at Perth. Today we're seeing dry conditions at first. The cold front is approaching, so it'll hit in the afternoon and evening. So that's when the wet weather begins, 3 to 16 millimetres. Heading to Saturday, morning and afternoon is when the heaviest falls are there, 27 to 45 millimetres. That's actually quite a tight spread, which is good. We have high confidence that this will deliver as it comes through. Let's have a look into Sunday. We've got top of about 17. That dries up during the morning and then a fair bit of sunshine as it comes out. But a lot of rain to get through before we get to that particular point. Take a break, and then the next one is mainly, so it's Wednesday night into Thursday that we see the next weather system come through over there. That's it from me for today. As always, head to janesweather.com for the latest.